Speaking of
was
AR, can we just start with that and just kind of get it out of the way? Because
man.
it gave me.
Sure,
I mean, you said it gave you goosebumps.
It did.
It got me.
Yeah.
It got me for a second.
Yeah, I got actually a little emotional.
Yeah.
Thinking about the scenarios. I've known a handful of people who are deaf in my years, and the idea for them, like people that know ASL, for instance, like they know the language that they're using to speak, but if somebody else doesn't know it, like the communication is just completely blocked. And then if I also not only can I not understand you as a deaf individual, I have a hard time communicating. I'm trying to give you like signs, to show you what I'm trying to say. And if, you can read lips to a certain extent, but you can't read everybody's lips.
Yeah.
In this situation right here, you can't read my lips at all.
Or with masks on.
Right. Yeah. And so there was all these issues, obviously that come up with that. But I mean, their whole presentation of it was also just, there's a mother-daughter on there that had language barriers for what they didn't explain why, but this lady
it was
spoke
something
Mandarin.
they spoke two different dialects of a similar language, and for whatever.
I thought she spoke English.
I speak English. My mom speaks Mandarin, and it's like they didn't explain why, but they could have been estranged.
Yeah,
she could have been adopted.
Yeah, because it was something along the lines. She said something like, "I can understand." But
the mom.
Mom said she could understand.
She could get English, but she didn't know how to respond.
Right, and
so like them putting those glasses on, these AR glasses, they're super early prototypes, but Google choosing to lean into that part of the AR experience, I think, was amazing. And so like to be able to see real time translation, like to know that it's, I don't know if these Pixel Buds will do it better than the ones before. They've tried this with Pixel Buds.
Yeah, sure.
The original ones, they've done it with. Google Assistant and stuff, and like these translation powers that Google keeps working on keep getting better, but being a real-time thing, like in your ear, I don't even know how that works. Like you have to wait because I can't be listening to this and you at the same time. Like it's too much.
Whereas
unless I can just turn you off But visually you can be talking, and if it's transcribing,
I'm
right
reading
here,
what you're saying. Yeah.
Right, that's the
amazing.
cool thing, because I have some headphones in there that are designed just for that. They're called time kettles, and they're made for like virtual meetings and when you're on the phone and stuff. So you're not hearing the other person. It's going to the headphones. The headphones are translating them to you in real time, and then vice versa. The app translates it back through them, which is awesome. But this, like Robbie was saying, this is a visual thing where you don't break interaction. And the fact that they're glasses, because that was one point, the guy that was talking, he was saying, he's looking right at me. So to me, the interaction isn't being broken because I'm not focused on the translating that's happening. I'm focused on the conversation.
It's like translated closed captioning for the world.
Yeah.
So like that application, and I don't know, Andrew, I don't know if we put that photo, the one photo a couple people have used with like the little, obviously they're
heads-up display.
they're trying to show you graphically with a graphic overlay, like kind of what the person's seeing. There wasn't any shot through the glasses to actually show what it actually looked like.
No,
I don't think.
I don't even know how they would get that.
I don't know if they would have to film it the right way. But these glasses are pretty decently sized. Some of these ones
they don't look ridiculous.
Was it the Google Glass, the original Google Glass, or was it the Apple that had the bar, like the big huge bar across the top or on the side?
Google Glass was like the top part of a glasses frame, but then they had
like
one big glass
thing,
prism thing right up here.
A little strange, but these look and
there's a reason people called them glass holes. People that wore them.
So Google Glass, a lot of people look at it as they were a flop and a failure, but just recently, I think it was last year, they sort of repurposed that, and I think they're not marketing them. I think they're licensing that whole concept to factories and stuff like that. They're very useful, but it's not a consumer marketable device. This is something where consumers are going to see this, and they're going to be. You have someone who travels a lot. I mean, I know a guy who works for something that has to do with our local college, but he's in a different country every other week.
Yeah,
the guy that bought the Tesla. All he does is travel. I can imagine this would be huge for him.
I think
you can't learn 50 different languages. I mean,
with this machine learning, especially some of the stuff they were talking about the pathways and stuff of how the machine learning is now translating. Insane. Like we could sit and talk about some of that stuff, the software stuff.
Yeah, so the software stuff at the beginning was wild. Like when they were talking about language barriers and translation. I mean, them feeding into, because was that the Palm thing?
Yeah,
I forget what it stands for, but it's another language model, and it was basically saying what Joe was just saying just then, is like you can train it in the sentence structures of a particular language, and then it begins to now understand the pattern of language structure for that language and how that looks parallel to this other language.
As opposed to traditional translation, which takes a known language and a known language and then connects the two. Yeah. This actually uses the AI learning model to, it can discover and learn the new language on its own.
Yeah, without data input prior.
But the parallel part of it is the interesting part, because now it begins to understand turn of phrase in English and how that same what that turn of phrase means, and now I also know the same turn of phrase in Mandarin, say, to be able to bridge that gap, because they
don't translate one to one.
Yeah, it's just like translation is just not that simple.
Yeah.